I'm ready. I'm gonna upset the world.
There's a fundamental difference between me and Jake. He's a manufactured killer. Television and papers made him a killer. He's manufactured. I'm a natural-born killer.
Mike Tyson just reacted, actually laughed, at Jake Paul's latest training footage. It's almost painful to watch Paul work out like a clueless kid trying to lift dumbbells for the first time. Can you believe it?
His head is up when he punches.
Bang, bang. Yeah. 1, 2. There you go. Good.
With just 2 days until the fight, he's fumbling with basic weights, looking more like a fitness influencer than a serious fighter.
Exciting, and there's not as much glitz and glamour around it anymore, and I would say this is the hardest camp. Just sparring 300-pound guys.
Maybe, just maybe, if Jake spent more time on real training instead of vlogging for his followers, things might be different. But it's too late now. The clock is ticking, and Tyson is ready to unleash bone-rattling punches. Jake better brace himself, because there's no turning back. The only thing waiting for him in that ring is a savage Tyson beatdown.
Doing the jogs, weighing 220 pounds, all the miles, all the work at the track is a lot more difficult than running around weighing 205 pounds. So this is definitely the hardest I've pushed myself mentally.
Jake Paul is at it again, and this time he's really outdone himself. We're just days away from November 15, 2024, when he steps into the ring with the living legend Mike Tyson. You have to wonder, what on earth is this guy thinking? Jake Paul is acting like a social media influencer who stumbled into a real fight. Seriously, if anyone needed a reminder that clout chasing has its limits, here we are. Mike Tyson, pushing 60. But you'd never guess it watching him prepare. His training regime is flat out ridiculous. Early morning road work, 6-hour sessions, and strength conditioning that would break your average gym bro in half.
Homegrown assassin. He's a machine. There you go. And Jake has not come up against that. It's a dark place in there, that ring. A lot of things can happen.
Tyson's doing squats, resistance training, and explosive lunges, transforming his legs into sledgehammers. His legendary left hooks are still as vicious as ever, capable of making grown men cower. You can tell Tyson isn't treating this as an exhibition. To him, it's about preserving his legacy and showing that you don't mess with a predator and expect a soft landing. There's no fluff in Tyson's camp, no distractions, just raw, brutal preparation.
He's the baddest man on the planet. Raphael is the baddest trainer on the planet.
You can see it. You can feel it.
When I put Jake in deeper waters, where let's make you feel uncomfortable at the beginning to the end.
Flip the script to Jake Paul, who honestly believes he can fake his way through this one. His training footage is pure comedy. Watching him swing at air with the confidence of a TikTok star who thinks he's Muhammad Ali is almost painful. The man's been struggling to cut down from 220 pounds to 205, doing it like a college kid crash dieting before summer break. While Tyson's body is a fortress built through decades of pain and sacrifice, Jake's biggest struggle is balancing his ego with reality. He's been touting his grueling training schedule, yet somehow, he's also promoting his new clothing line. If selling merch is on your to-do list before facing one of the most dangerous men in history, you've got problems.
But I know that come fight night, it's going to be the old Mike Tyson, the warrior Mike Tyson, getting back to doing what he does best, which is annihilate people. When you've done that for so long, it's going to be second nature for him when the bell rings.
Jake's idea of sacrifice is laughable. He talks about taking a month off after his last fight, like it's supposed to impress us. Tyson must be rolling his eyes. In his prime, Tyson's sacrifices meant years of grueling, soul-crushing training camps, giving up everything to become the beast he was.
And so he needed a break. And so we took a month off, got right back in there, and now we're getting ready for Mike. And we're not as heavy as we were before, which is a plus for us. I didn't want us to go back up, but you can guarantee he's going to be ready to fight.
Jake can't decide if he wants to be a boxer or a businessman. His training camp is half-focused, half-influencer hustle, complete with brand partnerships and Instagram-ready workout clips. This is the guy who thinks he can hang with Tyson, a man who used to make opponents regret being born. Let's not ignore the sheer delusion here. Jake's been parading around, dropping lines about how he's built differently, more like built for clickbait. Tyson had to earn every ounce of respect in blood and sweat. Meanwhile, Jake's path has been paved with YouTube drama and staged pranks. He's famous for being famous, not for any real earned skill, while Tyson is destroying sparring partners, guys who probably need counseling after feeling his punches. Jake is trying to look menacing in front of a camera.
Like, oh, Jake gets hit with a bare knuckle. Mike Tyson, this thing's over. When I saw Mike Tyson on an interview with Henry Cejudo, he's like, what is age? They tell you you're that old, but I don't feel 50. You're like, oh, okay, this is...
But perhaps the funniest part of all this is Jake genuinely believes he's a threat. You can see it in his carefully curated training clips where he flails his arms, acting like he's rewriting the book on boxing. His coaches hype him up, but deep down, you have to wonder if they even believe it. Tyson's been openly mocking Jake's delusions. The way Mike sees it, this isn't a challenge, it's a side hustle. He'll walk in, handle his business, and walk out while Jake Paul tries to figure out what hit him. The age difference is irrelevant because Tyson's power doesn't age. His presence alone sends shivers down spines, while Jake's brand of intimidation is about as convincing as a child wearing his dad's work boots.
Got a chance to assess Jake Paul. What do you think of his boxing ability?
I think it's, he's came a long way from YouTubing. And listen, I've seen a YouTube of him at 16 doing weird dances. That's not the guy I'm going to be fighting. This guy's going to come, he's going to try to hurt me, which I'm accustomed to, and he's going to be great.
Jake Paul must think he's something special. This guy has managed to transform himself from a YouTube nuisance to a wannabe boxer with way too much hype. Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, has seen enough young clowns in boxing to know who's real and who's just faking it for views and likes. Tyson watched Jake Paul's last training video, and you can almost hear the eye roll in his reaction. Sure, he begrudgingly acknowledges that Paul has made some improvements, but that's like congratulating a goldfish for learning how to swim. Tyson couldn't care less about Jake's transformation from YouTube jokester to self-proclaimed fighter. To him, Jake's just a guy trying desperately to play tough in a world that doesn't have time for fakes. Jake's biggest sin, thinking he can step into a ring with Tyson and come up with anything other than a shattered ego and probably a broken face.
I love you, man. And boxing thanks you for all you brought to the sport. You're an icon, you're a legend. I look up to you, I'm inspired by you, and I know you're gonna bring an amazing fight and put it all on the line, but no matter what you do, you can't.
Mike Tyson, even at 58, is still training like a possessed beast, while Jake Paul is out there posing for Instagram selfies and hyping up his latest cringeworthy business ventures. Tyson is putting in real work, dawn road work, grueling gym sessions that turn grown men into puddles, and strength conditioning that would make your average fitness influencer cry. Tyson doesn't do things halfway. His entire life has been about pure, brutal dedication, not the watered-down version of boxing Jake Paul thinks he's mastered. Tyson's punches still sound like thunder, and his sparring partners leave the gym with newfound respect for pain.
And with the utmost respect, I'm gonna f you up.
Let's roast Jake for a moment, because he deserves every bit of it. This guy actually thinks he can rely on his so-called stamina to outlast Tyson. Oh, the delusion. Experts have weighed in, and the verdict is harsh. Teddy Atlas has already pointed out that Jake's only real shot is hoping Tyson gets tired. If Tyson doesn't slow down, Jake's getting folded. That's not a strategy. It's a desperate hope only an overconfident fool would put faith in. Tyson's power isn't a joke, and even Joe Rogan can't stop talking about how terrifying those punches still are. If Jake doesn't take it seriously, he's going to find himself on the wrong end of a viral knockout, one that won't look good on TikTok.
I train every day.
Okay, how many hours a day you train?
I take it serious. Listen. Well, listen, it's the whole day. The process goes through the whole day. I get up in the morning, do the road work, then I go to the gym at 1, then I go to the strength and conditioning guy, then it starts all over.
Let's get real. Jake Paul can't even pretend he's not terrified. You think Tyson doesn't notice that fear? Russell Crowe, yes, the actor who's played a fighter on screen, knows that Jake's bravado is just that. Crowe can't even imagine Jake lasting 8 rounds with a legend like Tyson. Roy Jones Jr. tries to be nice about it. He'll admit Jake's better than he used to be, But let's not get carried away. Better doesn't mean ready. Jake's skills are child's play compared to Tyson's decades of in-the-trenches experience. It's like comparing a plastic sword to a battle-hardened warrior. Jake's improved, sure, but he's still light years away from being anything Tyson would consider a worthy opponent. And the best part, Tyson's sarcasm isn't even subtle. He's practically laughing at how pathetic Jake's journey looks next to his own. Tyson's lost more battles, suffered more pain, and come back from more brutal defeats than Jake could even imagine. But Jake, he's too busy pretending to be a fighter, treating boxing like it's just another brand-building venture. Meanwhile, boxing is a sport that eats pretenders alive. Tyson knows this, and he knows Jake is in for the reality check of a lifetime.